You are now entering the Queen's Quarters. We are powerful, strong, and rulers in our own right. There's a queen in you, there's a queen in me. Every woman is a queen.
Welcome to the Queen's Quarters experience. We are so glad you decided to join us. We're happy to see you. You know, this week is our question and answer, and we ask you to continue to send in your questions. We got a bunch of great questions and that we were presented with from our many fans. So we're going to start off with the roll call. My name is Emma, and I represent the 60s.
I'm Queen T, representing the 50s Club.
Hi, I'm Queen Ty. I'm repping the 50s.
Hey everyone, I am Queen Tans, representing the 40s.
What's up, guys? I'm Queen Lady B, representing the late 30s.
Hey y'all, I'm Queen I, representing the early 30s.
So we want to take this opportunity and welcome everybody to our show. We're going to start off our show with Tea Time by Queen T. T, what kind of tea do you have today?
Well, today you're going to be having your tea with Queen T. And today we're going to be having white tea. Now, white tea has some health benefits. It may help combat skin aging. It helps protect your teeth from bacteria, and it may reduce the risk of heart disease. So grab yourself a cup of white tea, and let's see what's going on in Queen's Quarters today.
Very good, very good. We're so glad to hope you enjoy your tea. Everybody have their tea?
Yes.
So we're going to start off with some exciting questions. Zeke from East Orange wants to know, can women love two men at the same time?
Wow.
My Zeke in my business. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Queen Ty, I was thinking the same thing. Wow.
I know.
What a question.
I don't think so. I think as far as me, when women love, we love hard. And we're definitely focused on that one person. I think when women kind of tend to veer off is when the relationship goes south. But loving two men at the same time, maybe we can lust one and love the other. Yeah. But for me, that's a no. Not for me.
For me, I say yes.
Yeah.
You want to go?
No, go ahead, Queen I.
I say you can. So you can definitely love two men at the same time. I don't think you could be in love with two at the same time, but I believe, for instance, if you have like a husband, you can love him. And if you have a child's father, you can love him. That's not what I think, but I don't think you can be in love at the same time, but you can love two men at the same time.
Okay, because let's make a distinction. There is a difference between being in love and loving.
Right.
There is a distinction. So I don't have Zeke on the line, but I'm imagining that he's headed toward the in love question.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily just you know, because you gotta love everybody, because the Bible says you gotta love everybody. So you can love two men, all the women, the kids, because the Bible says you gotta love everybody. But can you be in love with two men at the same time?
It's a no for me.
Let me hear yours now.
No, it's a no.
Okay, it's a no.
Well, I definitely and before my Christian days. That's it. But y'all know I'm transparent. I'm an open book. I just want to put that disclaimer. Before I was saved, I did indulge in multiple relationships, and
put it all out there.
Yeah, listen, you know how listen.
It is what it is.
It truly is what it is. You know, because you know I'm a new creature in Christ now. I'm you talking about me before I do. Let me put it out there before you put it out there.
Okay, I know that's right.
You know what I'm saying? But I have definitely been in multiple relationships before, and I have deeply. So it's for me, it's a yes, because I have once again, I feel like it's different levels to
Okay.
and I really do. Like, I've had some really good guys that was in my life, and you know, I had the relationship with that one that I had, and it served that purpose, and at the simultaneously had another relationship with another, and that served this purpose. And I was deep. I had, you could interview me at that time, and I deeply had feelings for both of them. It was a time I couldn't make a choice. Like, I didn't know which way I wanted to go with it, and I didn't want to hurt nobody's feelings. You know, so for me, now, if I can honestly say I was in love with one, and in love, I felt like there was a depth to my love for both. There was things I would do for both of them, like if they needed me. So I mean, for me, it's a yes, but like, once again, it's levels to that love. Now, I'm putting that down. Now, everybody, don't do that now, okay? Praise the Lord. Okay.
That's to get it straight. That's to be a new
advice
creature.
is not to do that now. You know, I am in a nice
Right.
monogamous relationship, and definitely feel like that's what you should do. But I'm just being transparent. I know some queens out there that may be in the same situation, and you may be kind of topsy-turvy trying to figure it out. But I do believe it can be, but it's in your best interest. And don't play with anybody's feelings, because listen, people can.
Let me ask you something,
Don't play with nobody's feelings.
So you don't think it was, okay, I'm in love with this one, but I'm kind of lusting more for this one? It was was it an equal balance of love for each one?
It was an equal balance of love for each one, because I mean, the lust factor for me, like, I mean, it was, neither one of them even went there for a while. So it was a getting to know each other. Like I told, I'm intellectually stimulated. I really am. Like that other stuff comes way later for me. But the intellectual stimulation is primary. If you could hold my attention and we could talk for hours and hours and we got a connection, like, I don't believe that you just have a connection with one person. Like, we are all individuals, and you can connect with somebody for on so many different paths and planes. So for me at that time, thinking that at that time and now looking back, I wouldn't say it was a lust thing. I wouldn't.
I think that's a good, honest and good response. But I think that's the problem when you're trying to get into a relationship. That's going to complicate it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to be with someone. Now you have two people and I think it's very much possible to have a love type relationship or feelings of love for each one of those for different reasons. Like you said, different levels, different reasons. But at the same time, now you might be placed in a situation where you need to choose one, because you can't continue having a serious relationship with anyone when you have two people in your life like that. So I just think that that's complicates the situation. So it's kind of just best to date one person at a time. I mean, that's just me, because some people believe in, having multiple friends, and I don't know. I just think that can complicate the situation.
Have y'all seen the gentleman on Facebook? I'm sorry, wait, Queen, now you muted, but as soon as I say this, come on back and come in. I know you wouldn't want to say something.
Okay.
Y'all know that gentleman on Facebook that has that polygamous relationship everybody's talking about, and like he has the wife and the girlfriend turned wife, and he got both of them, and like he's getting interviewed all over the realm, and everyone's asking him, how could you take care of two women, and how could you be in love with two women, and do that really work? And like, you got some people saying there ain't no way in the world that can work. And this gentleman actually used to be a minister in church.
Wow.
He was sold out. He used to preach everything, and he'll tell you now that he no longer is a believer. He has a whole different belief. Like, so that's a whole nother talk for another time. But
because I have some friends that are Muslim, and it's a male guy, and he said to me, like, it's okay for you to have more than one wife because you love them equally and you treat them the same. So in some religions, it's okay to have more than one wife. And in that case, I guess you can be in love with more than one person at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up. I was gonna bring up how And in a Muslim faith, they do it all the time. So I'm sure to them it's possible.
Absolutely.
But not all of them, though.
Not all of them, but just
No, not all of
some
them.
of them.
it's
Right.
okay with them. Now, I have a girlfriend who was Muslim she's married now, but when she was dating her now husband, she told him straight up, like, no, we ain't rolling like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we were good friends, so we would discuss, women discuss stuff, and her faith did not interfere with our friendship because we were friends regardless. We're still friends. Right. And at that time, she told her husband, like, no, we ain't rolling like that. It's just, I don't go, that's what the Quran say, but that ain't what I say. And they still together,
Well, majority of my family is Muslim, and I'm so glad none of them practice that. They all have their wives and
mine is split in half.
Yeah.
Half practices Islamic faith and the other half are Christians. So, yep.
Back to you, Tracy. You can date more than one person at the same time. You can do that, especially when you're young, but I don't think I can be in a relationship with more than one person. Well, I cannot be in a relationship with more than one person. So it's a difference.
Yeah, I didn't say you couldn't date more than one person, but I think if it came down to a situation like what Queen Tans was talking about, where you have feelings for both of them, now it's going to cause a situation because, you love both of these guys. Now you want to make a decision because you want to get serious with one or the other. So I just think it would complicate the situation. I didn't say you couldn't date more than one person.
But dating is a relationship. That's a relationship. A friendship. That's a relationship. So it depends on the level of the relationship. You can date more than one person, and you're still in a relationship with that person, even if y'all just hang out buddies. That's a relationship.
That could be another question. I really think that dating.
You talking about intimacy. You talking about where you put your heart out to somebody. Then that's different. You know what I'm saying? That's different.
I think it's different levels. Like dating to me is like you're dating, you get to know each other. Then it's exclusive dating. Then it's actual relationship. Then it's engaged in marriage. That's how I break it down.
Yeah,
that's true.
And how old are you again? Oh yeah, I can tell.
Well, no, let me tell you.
Some things change with age.
Wait a minute, nah. Wait a minute, Emma. I've learned in my last relationship not to focus so much on being in a relationship, because to me, when you're dating, you still have that opportunity to go to veer, and most men do it, to go and see other women, and most women tend to focus on that relationship. I was focused on him. He wasn't so much focused on me, only me. He was focused on me and somebody else. But that taught me right then and there that you don't really truly have a commitment until you're married.
Right. And then sometimes not even in, but that's another
true. That's true. But more so, you're more so committed when you're in a marriage more so than just dating. So I don't really focus on a dating part. Yeah, we're gonna date, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's my man, and all of that other stuff, because I done been there, done that, and it got me nowhere.
Lady B, what you thinking, nodding your head?
I'm just listening to all these nuggets in agreement. You mean in regards to that question you asked earlier?
Yes, in regards to the question. What do you think? What are you thinking?
Yeah,
do you remember the
question? I plead the fifth. No, I'm kidding.
That's listen, me too.
I'm kidding. No, in all honesty, I was in a relationship and we broke up. He broke my heart, cheated on me and stuff like that. And I took some time off. I met somebody else. I fell head over heels in love with him, and things just didn't work out. Come to find out that he wasn't truthful, and I found that he had he had a girlfriend that was pregnant and everything. So that passed and faded. Well, it didn't fade, it passed. So then me and the guy, look at me, I'm just giving the whole story. Me and the other guy that I originally broke up with, we got back together. But what happened was I wasn't over the one that I went, and fell madly in love with. So needless to say, well, now, of course, it didn't work out with either one of them, but it showed once I went back to the first guy, it showed that my heart wasn't 110% in our relationship anymore. And now I got a funny for y'all. It was around the time when Jasmine Sullivan came out with I'm in love with another man.
You use that for your theme song.
Awkward. It was awkward because we were together and the song came on and I stopped and looked at the TV. You know how you had the music channel? I was like, and then he kind of asked me about it later, like, he felt it. Like, men have intuition too, whether we want to believe that or not. He felt it, and we had a conversation. Of course, I denied it, but I said all that to say it shows. So I have been in love with two, but I love the other guy more. That I found out he had a whole girlfriend that was pregnant. Like, I was just like, couldn't believe the way it ended. I wasn't over him. So it's very possible. I feel like you'll always love one more, but at that time, I definitely was in love with both of them.
Very good, very good. Well, we're going to move on to the next question. Does anybody else want to add to that before we move on? Great. We're going to move on to the next question. Michael from Newark says, is it possible for someone that you may not find attractive previously grow on you and eventually become attractive to you?
What?
That's a simple yes for me.
Yes.
Pretty much. It could happen.
Definitely yes.
Because you get to know that person, you know, and you find other things. Like they may not have been physically attractive to you at the time you met them.
In the beginning,
by the time you get to know them, you look at them different. And because you look at them different, that attraction comes up. But I have a friend that I've had like for years and years and years. And you have to get like a total makeover for me to be attracted to him, but I love him as a friend. But he ain't never.
Wait, when you was laughing, you say he got a total makeover.
I don't want to get into no details, but I'm telling you, I mean,
you be trying to talk without giving names and giving too much, right?
Some things about him, I'm like, nah, babe, I don't care. You know, we the best, we good buddies, you know, but nah, and we will never go past being good buddies.
Good buddies.
That ain't happening.
But you know what? That brings up such a good thing because, like, just because someone's physically attractive doesn't mean that you would be attracted to that person as a whole.
Right.
That's right. It works both ways.
Right. That person can have a terrible attitude,
that's true. That's true.
Like, it could be so many things. And then you have somebody that's not as physically attractive, but their spirit is right. They're the sweetest individual.
Right.
Over
but the chemistry is just, you know.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like,
but it's possible.
What can you be attractive to? Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. I've dated a guy where my friends were like, what is that? I was like, mind your business. You don't understand. You don't know his heart. So, I've been there before. It's possible.
I think it's possible too. It's possible too. It's not mandatory, but it's definitely possible.
Right.
Christopher Trenton wants to know, do y'all believe in sex before marriage?
You should not have sex before marriage.
I did.
That's what I'm saying.
Look.
You wasn't supposed to have sex before marriage.
Listen,
but, you know, the Bible says for all have sinned.
I know that's right.
Right.
And judge not that
my
you
son
be
just
not
turned
judged.
16, so I mean, I have before.
Okay. Yeah.
I have evidence that I did before.
I have 2 children and I'm not married, so of course, I mean, that's an obvious thing that has happened. But I looking back, if I had to do it all over, I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'll do it differently.
Jesus.
What?
Wait, Tracy said you don't know if you would what?
But when you know better, you're supposed to do better.
No, it means.
All right, but check this out, y'all. Check this out. When you know better, you're supposed to do better. However, when you have been in a physical relationship, it's a real sacrifice. I'm telling you, a real sacrifice to be abstinent when you're in another active relationship. You shouldn't, because the Bible says you shouldn't. But it's very difficult to maintain abstinence when you have had relationships in the past, physical relationships in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, technically, do you believe in sex before marriage? My answer is I believe in it if that's how you feel. But, you know, I'm waiting to hear what somebody else has to say.
Well, you didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish, but if I had to do it all over, I probably would do it differently because I feel like knowing what I know now, it would have saved me a lot of heartaches and pains, knowing what I know now, I probably would have went through life differently, looking for more of a solid relationship before I even started a family, but it didn't happen like that. And I didn't see it growing up in a lot of people. It was like when you hit high school, it was like that was the thing to do. And there was nobody to say, wait a minute, you should wait. I didn't see an example of anyone like that I knew of. So I'm just going to say, if I could do it differently, I probably would wait now. Like I said, it would save me a lot of pains and heartaches, hooking up with the wrong person. So yeah.
I feel like
you're not gonna be quiet, Queen. Now you gonna say something.
Yeah,
wait a minute.
I know she's sitting there like, oh my
Nothing.
God, this question don't pertain to me at all.
Hold on. Let me answer that before not come on in. But I feel like there's not enough focus on talking to young men and young women about sexual, about being abstinent, about the ramifications in having sex, like what can happen, diseases, pregnancy, and all of that other stuff. So I believe that if it was enough focus on that, I think we would have. I know back in my time, I probably would have did things a whole lot different than what I have done. Now in my life now, as I'm 50 years old, of course, I know better now than what I did when I was a teenager. So yes, I believe that it should be more conversations geared towards that with our youth.
With our young people. Because if I could just make an admission, I was born and raised and grew up in the church, and I had sex before marriage. And if I have to look back, I feel like in spite of my sin, God blessed me with two wonderful, wonderful boys. I wouldn't change that for anything in the world. Yeah. And even though they were born out of wedlock, God really put his stamp of approval on my children. So I can say, I don't know if I would say that if I could do it all over, I would do it different. If I could do it all over and have the same kids that I have now, then I would do it like that. But you don't know if that's the way it would have come out for me. I wouldn't trade Reggie and Terrell for nothing in this world. I wouldn't trade them. We have our ups and downs. Lord knows we have our ups and downs. But the bottom line is God has really blessed me. My sons are pretty good. And for that reason, even though I was sinning when I had them, I was in sin when I had them, I wouldn't trade them. I wouldn't trade them. I wouldn't trade nothing for my journey now, like the song say.
And God don't make mistakes.
No, he doesn't
make mistakes.
And
once again, we overcome by the word of our testimony and the blood of the Lamb.
Yes,
so everything we go through is for his glory.
That's true.
Everything we go through.
So we waiting on you now. We ain't forget.
Sure did.
Well, y'all know I grew up in the church, and since I was younger, they have always told us what fornication is. They ain't want us to do fornication, or it just wasn't meant for us to be fornicating everywhere. But anyways, I went to college, and some people just didn't know what fornication was. I had to tell them. And in my head, I'm like, it's not fair because y'all doing this, and y'all don't got no, conscious about it. But me,
conscious.
If I do it, it ain't fair because I already know what's right, what's wrong. But in all reality, when it comes to what Ty said, I'm happy, and I thank God that I grew up in classes that they told us about sex. They told us about STDs. They even made us watch a whole lady giving birth. And I was like, that was before high school. So we always knew about it in my generation. So do I believe in it? I mean, I can't say I don't believe in it because I know a lot of people was born out of wedlock. I'm not for it though. I think you should not have sex before marriage. I'm gonna just keep it at that.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, can I touch on that just a little? Go ahead.
No.
I just
Tracy.
wanted to touch on that a little bit. Like in our generation, we did have sex education, but to practice abstinence wasn't like the topic of conversation. That wasn't what was talked about. Like, this is why you shouldn't do this. You understand from a biblical point of view that when you have relationships with someone who's not your husband or your wife, then it's considered a sin. That because that's part of your upbringing, but a lot of people didn't grow up with that understanding.
And they didn't understand about the soul ties and everything else. So yeah, that's
right.
true.
Well, maybe because I went to Catholic school, they didn't have certificates. Did you have sex education?
No.
We have sex education.
I went to Catholic school too, and you know what? I actually learned that before I went to high school, before I went to Catholic school. So you're right.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a public school thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So we're going on to the next question. You ready?
Yeah.
Should women pay half the mortgage or rent, or should the man pay it and the woman pay all the other bills?
It depends.
Or should the man pay all the bills, period?
What is his income? Maybe he's the type of guy that prefer to do all of that. But then again, it depends, because in this society, in this time, a lot of us are, we're working and we doing overtime just to make ends meet. So to have someone else, be able to go in on bills and stuff like that would be a help. So it might take two people to make it. I mean, we know rent is astronomical, mortgages are high as well. So in this society, it takes two people to really make it and live well. However, it depends. Maybe some men prefer to do it all, on their own, and it depends on their income.
I can piggyback
the way
on
I was raised. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. You can go, Lady
what
B.
Trace is saying, Queen T. I think I said that in the previous episode too. Like, it just depends on like our income, and if whoever makes a significant amount more than the other person, I feel like, in all fairness, regardless if it's the woman or the man, you should probably take on a little more because you can afford to do that. But I'm 50-50 all day. I never felt like that. I need to take care of me and do everything for me. That's too much power. That's having too much power over me.
Yeah,
so you get the call when I gotta leave here. You get the call when you taking the car keys. No, I like my independence. I mean, I'll let my man be a man. If you watching King, I got you, boo. I'm gonna let you be a man. But it 50-50 wouldn't bother me at all if we were in the same tax bracket. I'll say that again.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like 50-50, we work together. I believe, you can have your, like my sister was kind of saying a little off camera, but I definitely agree with that. Like, you have your account, I have my account. We pitch in, have the bill account. We pay our bills from that account, and we have a savings where we storing and doing what we got to do. I got my savings. So I think it should be a lump sum pool, but 50-50, we should be in this thing together. It's a partnership.
That's right.
I agree with everyone as well. It's a 50-50 thing. I mean, that's how a relationship should be. Not that, and depending on your income bracket as well. But a 50-50 thing, I agree all the way.
Yeah.
I was raised like the men in my family take care of the woman. Not saying that we don't have money, because some of us are breadwinners. Right. The majority of us are breadwinners in my family. But I believe if the person I'm with, my husband, if he's a breadwinner, pay the mortgage. You want me to pay something, then let me know. But I don't know about that 50-50, y'all. Sorry.
I think it depends on the situation. I think it depends on the situation, because in growing up, I don't know what my parents, how they split their situation. You understand what I'm saying? But in relationships that I've had, it really depends. Sometimes it's 100-0, sometimes it's 50-50, sometimes it's 30-70. You understand what I'm saying? It really depends on what's going on and what your goal is. If we saving our money to do something spectacular, buy a house, or knock down some credit card debt, so you might have to pay it all while I stack the money so that we can knock these bills out. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a loaded question, because it's an individual situation. You don't you don't really know what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. You don't really, know that. I think it's best if you and your partner decide at that time, listen, this is how we're going to do this, and you work it out like that. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Now, if he say like, look, I got the mortgage, you pay the rest of the bill. Okay, if you want it, okay, that's
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. If that's how y'all decide to work
I ain't
it out,
fighting that.
it's on you and your partner.
right. Okay,
Right.
I got that.
Wait. But what is the rest of the bills? Is that your card note, his card note, his insurance,
it's
your
not the
insurance?
same.
Is it the PSE&G cable?
Yeah,
What is
household
what is the
bills,
other?
Is it gonna even out?
Not that crazy
Because he
stuff.
might be getting off a little easy. I
Household
don't know.
bills. Like, most mortgages is like about maybe $1,500 or whatever. But household bills, I'm talking about the PSE&G bill. I'm talking about the food bill, stuff like that.
So that can still be expensive though.
Yeah.
That can
I
still
think
be
that's what
expensive.
T was saying.
And all the other, yeah.
Well,
But
yeah,
I really expect my man to be a protector, provider, and like the priest, following God. So, listen, provide for me.
So you want him to pay the mortgage and pay all the other bills?
I would like him to.
And what you gonna do with your money? Just stack it?
I'm definitely gonna save, I'm gonna say
so
that.
Is your
so
savings...
what happens if he's struggling to get some bills paid and you sitting over there like fat cat Nichols? Are you gonna say like, honey, here, I'm gonna help you? Are you gonna do that?
Definitely gonna help if he needs help. But I would like my man to provide for me. If he wants to help, he will get the help. But other than that, I would expect him to provide.
Okay.
And I'm sure.
I expect to provide too, but I'm like somebody else who said, I don't want somebody who could tell me like, no, go in the room and sit down. Give me them car keys. No, that ain't happening. That is not happening.
I'm gonna have my own as well. Don't get me wrong. I make my own money as well.
Right.
No, if he's doing all the provision, listen, if he's doing all the providing and you hard-headed, he's gonna tell you go outside.
Right. It's like you're giving him too much power, nah.
Yeah, you're giving him a lot.
I'm not saying that, but it's a lot of control there.
Ow, I didn't say his name was on everything. My name on everything too.
Not if you ain't paying.
If you ain't paying, then how?
If you ain't paying, your name ain't on nothing.
Right.
Who said who? If I get a house, my name better be on that house. If I get a car, my name better be in that.
If he's doing all the payments and he's saying no, then that's the way that's gonna have to be.
In the house.
Yeah, good thing that won't be my man.
Yo, I don't know about that now. That's a lot of control.
Well, I don't even take it as a control situation.
Yeah, me either.
Just because he's taking on X amount of bills, he has a certain level of control.
All the bills. He paying everything. All the bills.
It doesn't matter. I mean, what about women?
Just stacking her money.
But what about women?
With none of my sons.
What about women that's working? I can't with you, Queen Emma. What about women that's working and they're paying everything and the men are home with the children?
Exactly. Like, what if this?
Is she like, she got control over the house?
She didn't say she was going to be home and being a housewife. She's going to be stacking her money. She ain't
no. I'm saying, what about women that are home, that are working, and the men are home caring for the children? So now she's the breadwinner, so she gets to rule the house, because that's so out of order.
But that might be
different. That's different, Trace.
Maybe he's not working. Like, that's a whole different situation.
Exactly.
If he's not working at home and taking, I understand that. But if both of you,
if you're the house husband, you still contributing. You still doing something.
Right. But if both of you guys are working and he paying everything and you just stacking up,
you just sitting there looking cute.
That's a little.
I'm sorry, guys.
Don't take cute no more.
I'm sorry. I still don't think that gives him the right to have control.
No, it
just
doesn't.
Because money should not control a person.
That's
just because you're paying
but the
bills.
reality of it is, it does. It shouldn't. But the reality of it is, it does.
Well, if I had to be with someone because he has the money and he has the means to do all these things, but yet he has to have this certain level of control. I'm not talking about being a man. Like, I'm gonna control where you go, how you go. Here's the keys. Here's not the key. Get out. Like, no, that ain't the kind of. That's not the personality.
Exactly.
I'm sure that's not the type of personality that she would be looking for.
Yeah, but you have never heard of men that do that.
Exactly.
Have done it before.
She wouldn't know that until after she was in that relationship. Because dating, he would be wonderful. Dating, he would be wonderful. The first year or two, he would be fantastic. And then year 3, he would be like, honey, we struggling. You need to contribute. And she'd be like, no, you got to take care of me. I'm not paying your bill. I know not to. She's going to be cute and pretty. And she ain't going to be going to work.
I know Ty didn't just say, that's not heard of.
I'm not paying no bills. If you can't take care of me, then I'm leaving. See you. Bye.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
I don't even think that's realistic.
You didn't hear of what, Ty? I want to clarify that. What you never heard of?
No, I didn't say that's unheard of. What I said is you never heard of men having control over women that has been housewives in the house and not having any income. And when he get ready to do whatever he get ready to do,
exactly,
being left down in the dirt and hard on her luck. Because she haven't worked, she has nothing to bring
exactly
to or live on her own. You never heard of.
You never watched the Betty.
Well, how do you know how do you know that he was abusive to her in the sense of controlling her moves? Like, oh, you can't go, you can't. Maybe he was never heard of situations. No. I'm not saying.
Oh, wow.
No. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying money does not, to me, this is where we are. I disagree with you ladies, and it's okay. Money does not give a person a right to have control over you just because he's paying all the bills. Maybe that's what they decided upon. And if they decided upon that, then, but how? Well, how does money give him control?
It shouldn't, but the reality of it is
it shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but the reality of it is that's how people who is bringing home the bacon make the decisions. Their attitude. I've known of situations where he bringing home the bacon and he'll ask your opinion, but it's what he says that goes in the end because he's paying for that.
I don't disagree with that, but I'm just saying that should not be.
I believe the right men.
Just because the person is using their money to pay the bills, that might have been their agreement. And if it is, that don't give him the right to be abusive. That's what I'm saying.
Nothing gives you a right to be. There's no reason for abuse.
And when you're trying to control someone, that's abuse.
Honey,
it really is.
You know what?
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It doesn't, but like, for example, me, I work and I pay everything on my own. I'll be happy for a 50-50 right about right now. That would relieve a lot of cash. I'm the 50-50 kind of girl. I'm okay with that. But I don't ever want to give nobody, like, you put all that pressure on one person. It's just like if you're with someone, I'm sorry, Lady B.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
With someone and they lose their job, that put a lot of pressure on you to try to take care of everything. And I would never want to put that type of pressure on anybody or have him unhappy because he got to work time and overtime and triple time just to pay all the bills. So it's not a realistic to me idea, but if that's someone that she and maybe other women out there might want that type of guy and they set up that type of arrangement, it doesn't give him the right to be like, you go where I tell you to go. You do what I want you to do because I'm paying the bill. I just don't.
Because the men are still out there. The men do still want to provide for their woman. And that could be anything. It don't have to just be all the bills. It could be, I really believe the men I grew up with and they still exist. They want to provide for their woman.
I was going to say, I think that I may have opened the door to something a little toxic. Like it sounds that way, but I just need to go back and clear that up because you guys everything you shared is true and very good points. Because like Nye just said, there are some men that find joy in doing everything, catering to their women. So I don't want to make that type of man look like he's just out for control. I said for me, for me, and that's probably not a healthy way for me to think. But for me, it'll always be that fear of everything in here is his. Like, I guess that goes along with being single for so long or always providing your way. Like, I've been working since I was 16. So anything I have, be it small or big, I earned it. So it probably will take some time for me getting used to somebody that wants to come like, hey, I got it from here. But for me, I should have cleared that up when I said it, because I don't want to put men out there that enjoy. Because I know some men that be like, baby, I'm left with $1, but as long as you happy.
That's right.
I don't really want my man to do that either. I don't want you to be left with $1, but it works for some people. So I don't want to make it seem like every man that's doing that is like out for this control thing over you. For me, it just wouldn't be what I would prefer.
Thank you.
And I don't think it. Go ahead, Chance.
Thank you, Lady B, for saying that, because it could also too, for a lot of women that are strong-willed, it could be an attitude adjustment when you do get a man to come in your life and he's saying, listen, I want to take care of you.
It's going to be foreign. Like, I'm going to be afraid.
I ain't trying to surrender this control. I ain't trying to render this control that I have over my life. I don't know if I want to give you, oh God, I don't know if I want to give you all of that, but it would behoove us if a guy come in your life and he wants to do that, then I believe you should definitely get that level of comfort and allow him to do that. Because if you're a queen, let that king do what he got to do.
That's
Okay.
right. I agree.
That's true.
It's not, listen, it's not that.
Wait, Mom, wait. Now, keep in mind too, 50-50, if that's your thinking and he's good with that, perfect. Because that's your household's thinking. If that's what works for you, that's what works for you. But you got to keep in mind too, you have some narcissistic guys that are very controlling, and that is their way to keep their woman at bay.
That's
right. Then you have relationships where the man just want to be the man.
Yeah.
And it's no motive there.
Right.
So it would take wisdom to know that difference.
Exactly. I was gonna say I was gonna say that, Tans. Like I think I would know the difference after a while. You'll know the difference between whether he's just trying to be like, you can't go nowhere because I said so, and just someone who has a heart to just want to cater to you.
Right.
This is
because
good.
listen, just to clarify things, I'm not saying that that's not a good way to be. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, because we speaking to a larger audience, the reality of the fact is everybody don't roll like that. Right. And you have more men or more people who are the bigger breadwinners, because to some people, money is it. It's all about the money. Some people, it's all about the money for them. It's wonderful to have a man say, baby, don't worry, I got you. And understand that he got you and you got him. And as long as you have that understanding, that's really what works. It's not necessarily, like I said, sometimes it's 50-50, sometimes it's 100-0, sometimes it's 30-70. However it is that you and your partner work it out. But what I am trying to convey is, I don't want younger women, and I have to put you in the younger women category, to feel like Prince Charming is going to come and sweep you off your feet and life is going to be wonderful. You're going to put that glass slipper on and you're going to be dancing around on the cloud. No, baby, wake up. That ain't happening. And I just want women who are watching, who are in the younger generation, to be, aware that if you could take care of yourself, that's the best part. If you got a partner to help you, that's even better.
But true. I all instances, Ma, don't say now you can meet a queen. You listen, we saw Coming to America too. You can meet a king. In another country.
And that's what I was gonna say. Don't kill the dream, ladies. Hold on to your dreams. Anything is possible. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Why not? Hold on to your dreams.
Yeah.
Let's make it clear. That is to make clear. I've been taking care of myself all these years. I will continue to take care of myself, and I will continue to work. I'm just not going to be standing around doing nothing.
Let me ask you something, ladies. Like, if a guy do come into your life, right? Because all of us are independent women. But if someone do come into your life and want to take reign like that, would that be kind of a nerve?
Uncomfortable.
Kind of a nervous situation for you? Would you
not at all
scared?
Me either. I was
wait a minute. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Let me finish.
It's all about the
because you have you have wolves in sheep clothing.
Right.
They gonna come out. Some of them gonna come out sounding all good in the beginning, but you can't discern everyone at every time.
Right, right.
My fear, and I'm gonna say it, my fear is that if he come out like that, I would love to let go and be like, yes, about time. But my fear is the controlling part. Like, okay,
so just keep on stacking your money on the side in your own private bank account, because the next question had to deal with bank accounts. So you keep stacking your money in your private bank account in case he get crazy. You can be like, okay. The next question that came up was should spouses have separate bank accounts or joint only? That was the next question. So I'm saying, Tansy put it in. You gotta have one for the household, and then everybody have their own. If he's willing to take care of you, that's right. Just stack your money on the side, in case of an emergency. That might be a leaky roof. You know what I'm saying? But you got some emergency money.
Yeah.
And if he is a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, you stack your money and be out. When he go to work, come home, all your stuff is gone.
And that's exactly what I was going to say, Ty. You was like, would you be afraid? No, because now this gives me an opportunity to put them funds away. Now, if you just out there buying brand name stuff and, that's a whole nother story. And then when you get caught out there, it's nothing you can do. Right. So I would definitely enjoy being able to cake my dough and, and just live.
Wisdom, queen.
Exactly. Wisdom. Like this man used to say, use your head for more than a hat rack. Yeah. It's good. It's good. Let's move on to the next question, ladies. Are women scared of growing old alone?
I'm being in the 50s club. I just want to talk about that for a moment. I'm not afraid of growing old alone. But when you listen to everybody, older people, they say, "Oh, I wish I had somebody to do this for me or do that for me." That man might be in a worse predicament than me, and I'll try to use my energy to take care of him. So you know what? It's like. Be honest, that's not something I ever think about. I don't think about it from that, but it's the truth, right? I don't think about it from that point of view. But just getting older and just being single, no, I feel like I'm ready to live life even more than I ever have. So no, not at all.
Yeah. So I think there's a difference between being alone and being lonely.
Yeah,
there is a difference. Able to recognize there's nothing wrong with being alone, and they have too many things out here for older people. I live in a 55 plus community, and every time I look, and I haven't been down here long, and every time I look up, somebody having something. So it's different, and this is with the quarantine and stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a difference in being alone and lonely. So take that into consideration when you're answering the question.
So what was, can you repeat that question one more time?
The question is, are women scared of growing old alone?
Oh, they didn't say lonely. They said alone.
They said alone. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They said alone.
I think for me, I can say yes. Because it be a concern. Because everyone knows as you get older, your health start declining. And with me, I have no kids, and I'm single. So yeah, that becomes a concern of mine. Because
you get one of them things that say, "How about falling and I can't get up?"
Yeah, but they never tell you gotta have your door unlocked. Like how they don't tell you. So yeah, for me, I do tend to think about that. I do think about that.
And I'm glad you said that, Queen Ty, because I was thinking that too. As Emma was reading the question, I was thinking to myself, see, I don't have that fear. Like that's not a thought of mine because I had 3 children, and I pray, I thank God, or I pray that God allows all of us to see that time frame where if the need arrives, I know I can depend on my babies to help me. You know, if I'm not in a relationship and my mate isn't there, and, you know, vice versa, whatever the case may be. But, you know, I was thinking about that. Children do make the difference. Children really do make the difference, because, you know, if you're getting older and you know you have a good relationship, your children are going to be there to help you and walk you through that. But, you know, Queen Ty ain't got nothing to worry about.
No, she don't. She ain't birthed no kids, but she got kids.
Right. Right.
You know, but that is a thought, though. That is a thought, though.
But, you know, women and men nowadays are getting married much older. So it's not over.
Well,
you know,
like
you don't have to have that fear that it may not happen, because it may happen.
Yes, honey. Right at that altar at 60. Yes, absolutely. For real.
Yeah, but you don't want somebody with the worst who's in worse health than you are. So you
how do you know what life is going to bring? You don't know. He could be perfectly healthy when you meet him.
You can have these 60-year-olds be in that gym with bodies looking better than these younger men.
Hey.
That's right. I'm saying, but you never know that when you meet him. He can look nice and healthy, and, you know, and something happened to him, and it doesn't have to be age related. It could be anything, and then you could be caring for him. So that's not a fear. I get what you're saying about the kids. For me, that's not a fear for me, but I just feel like you still got time. It's no time frame.
I don't know, because as we get older, we tend to run into more guys who, you know, you have health issues, diabetes. You know, they have health issues.
Blood pressure.
Get older.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a concern for me. Like, that's like a red flag. And I'm not going to say I'm just going to dismiss you because you have them health benefits, but you got to think about that. Like, wow, like I might have to take care of him sooner than I wanted to.
So wait a minute, when you meet him, what you saying? Did you get your physical? Can I see the report?
Wow, I don't
need your medical records.
Questions.
I get your report. Like, what your doctor say?
Questions, but honey, they come up during the conversation. You get, you know, they come up like you ain't gonna ask them questions, but some conversations, you know how you have to ask the right questions in order to get the right answer.
That's true. Right.
Your pruning process is serious.
As you get older.
Queen Ty said
I have a checklist, and I need you to fill this out.
Exactly. Can you give me a credit score?
Fill this out right here.
I need you to scan that to my email as soon as you're done.
She got a whole application before you date her.
Look, my doctor friend is here to take your pressure.
Yeah, get your physical. Have your doctor send that to me. My goodness.
Yeah, listen, ladies, listen. We're almost.
I don't want people to think it's not that serious, but you know, these are the things that do happen as you get older.
To think about it.
Like I am in my 50s now. Like and that's 60s is the next step.
Right.
Exactly.
It's just things that you have to be prepared mentally to have to deal with a whole lot earlier than what you really want to.
That you don't worry about in your 20s and 30s and even 40s sometimes. I know.
Right. Okay. Let us know.
But listen, ladies, so we almost at the close of our session for today, and I have one more question. We have a few more questions from our audience, but I have one. Since we're at the end of question to ask, it says, what words of affirmation do you say to yourself daily to stay positive? What's your positive affirmations to yourself?
I will live and not die. With everything that's going on in this world, you just have to keep it in your mind mentally, through your finances, through your health, through, you know, your family problems, or whatever. I will live and not die.
Awesome.
Will not take me. I will take over the world. I will conquer the world.
Exactly. Somebody else?
Mine is, no matter what's going on, God truly loves me, and he has an expected end for my life. So it doesn't matter what is going on. His love for me is so unconditional that I'm going to be good, whether I have or have not. I'm going to be okay. So that's what keeps me uplifted every day.
I don't really have words of affirmation that I say over and over again, but in my daily prayer, I always ask for 5 things: wisdom, knowledge, understanding, discernment, and revelation all the time. That's
awesome. Lady B.
I have many, but the first one that came to mind was I forgive me. I forgive me. A lot of different things I went through in life. It was from bad decisions, not all, but some. And accountability is what helped me heal. That's part of what helped me heal. So for me, it's like, I forgive me and stay forgiven. Stay forgiven.
Wonderful.
Nigeria.
Oh Lord, the whole government. Y'all be killing me with that. This one. God got me. I love me. You got this. You are beautiful. You can do anything you put your mind to. Keep pushing.
Right.
You're a better version than yourself. Wait, you're a better version than what you were yesterday.
Right. That's good. Mm-hmm. I have a list at my
You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it.
Right.
I'm gonna live through this pandemic. I'm pandemic proof in Jesus' name.
Right.
Stuff like that. Stuff like that. It's so many, but those are just ones that came off the top of my head.
Share yours with us. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, is that what you say to yourself on a daily basis, or that's just what you say to yourself sometimes?
No, most of the time. I'm saying almost every day. Yeah, and I'm sure it changes, but yeah.
Every morning, when I get up, first I thank God for waking me up, and I ask God to cover and protect me. And the thought that comes to my mind is, be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, has forgiven me. So this way, when I run into issues where I want to cut somebody's head off, where I want to tell somebody off, where I want to jump into my hood situation, let them know I'm saved, but I ain't delivered. You know what I'm saying? In my back of my mind, I say, be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, has forgiven me. Because I sin and I fall short. And I fall short daily. And I don't have one perfect day in these 60 plus years that I've been living that I've had a perfect day. Daily I fall short. But in my mind, I know that if I'm kind, forgiving, even as God forgave me. So if God can forgive me, I can get up, because I've been through a lot. I can tell y'all guys some stories. I've been through a lot, but God has seen me through, and he has brought me through, and he has covered me and kept me. And sometimes, you really try to be, as hard as people make it for you, you try to be kind to people. It don't hurt. My father used to say, a dog will wag his tail. You know what I'm saying? It don't hurt to be nice, to speak, to be kind to people. You ain't got to be no fool now, don't get me wrong, but be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, has forgiven you.
Well, Queen Tans and Queen Emma, y'all didn't say daily prayers. I want to hear y'all affirmation. I have daily prayers, so we can get there. But I want to hear both of y'all tell me.
Right. That's why I just kept it short.
Now listen, that's what I say with myself when I get up. That's an affirmation.
Right, that's your affirmation.
Every day. You understand? Yeah, when I get up and I brush my teeth and wash my face in the morning while I'm looking at the mirror and seeing how beautiful I am, instead of me saying, girl, you cute, even though I be thinking that, I say, Lord, help me to be kind and tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, has forgiven me. I have to say that, because you never know what you're going to run into during the daytime. You never know. You never know how people are going to treat you. And don't get me wrong, I'm saved, but I still got some growing to do. And sometimes the Renee in me come out, you know what I'm saying? And y'all don't want to see Renee, y'all like Emma. Let's keep Emma nice and cool. You know what I'm saying? Because if Emma Renee jump out, it's going to be a problem. So I ask the Lord to keep me safe and keep me covered. Help me to be kind one to another, forgiving, loving, even as
just God, for my sake. I just want to hear Queen Tans and Queen Emma say like 2 affirmations, please.
I don't say
What part of that then you get?
I don't.
I understand. Okay.
I don't. I'm sorry.
Please,
You know
So
what?
what's your definition of an affirmation? That you don't think that what we said was affirmations?
I mean, it just sounds like it's a prayer because I definitely have prayers, and it sounds like, you know, basically like every day you run into something, Lord, purify me, cleanse me, oh Lord, stuff like that. But I just want to hear, like, you know, I'm beautiful. God got me. I'm gonna make it. Stuff like that.
But that's not what I say to myself. That's what you say to yourself.
That's true. Okay.
But no, for real, like, you know, a lot of people do say affirmations daily, and they have, like, you know, I work with two individuals that literally have these things on the wall surrounded, and they say it, like, when they have situations, they speak it out and they say it. I honestly, and I'm being so honest, I don't have affirmations. It's not something that I recite. I say daily. It's nothing. I just pray. I'm sorry. So that's the best I could give you.
Me too.
I think it's kind of pretty much the same thing in the sense of like what I said with God, that he loves me and that he has an expected end for my life. Because a lot of times, like Queen Emma said, you're going to come into situations and that old person want to come out and you say, don't touch that, because God got better for you. Or, you know, those days when you hate your job and you just want to quit. And you're like, nah, because God has, you're here for a purpose and a reason. God got you, like he loves you. He's never going to put you in a situation that's going to hurt you. If anything, it's going to make you stronger and make you better. So those, I think, in a sense, I know what affirmations are, and it's more like building yourself up. However, I think those are affirmations too, because it is building us up. It's building us up to not entertain foolishness. It's building us up to get away from that situation, or, you know, just keeping you encouraged when you feel like you want to black out, or, you know.
Yeah, it's not like there's a thin line between a prayer and affirmation, so that's fine.
So that's fine.
All right, everybody. We thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. You are amazing individuals. We love you so much, kings and queens out there, for your continued support and just being able to be in here with us and support us. We thank you once again. You have experienced the Queen's Quarters, where there is a king and a queen in you. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate you, and we will see you next Wednesday. Always at the end of the month, we answer questions. So continue to give us your questions, and we promise you we're going to get to them. Have a good day, kings and queens, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
We are